see if
Okay,
I
hang
view
on,
the stream.
Okay, we should be live now. Yes, we got it.
See if I view the stream.
Okay, we should be live. Yep, they can see us. Sorry about that, everyone. If you do follow my channel, you know I'm a bit of a techno-tard, but we got there. Didi, welcome back, sir.
Hi, Sean.
Been a while. Coming to us from Portugal.
It's been much too long. But I can see on your background the Sky Tower in Auckland. You are in the beautiful New Zealand.
I would love to. Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunately it sort of gets blown out when have you been here? Have you?
Yeah.
Tallest building in the Southern Hemisphere, Didi. It's got a big needle in the top. It's like putting a toothpick in your dick and saying you got 10 inches.
I don't think that's a nice feeling, a toothpick in your dick, but you know, you never know.
Yes, sir. So, hey, man,
we set the tone of the show.
What a crazy market. Well, Lisa and I have missed you on our trading show, so it's obviously been very difficult to coordinate with the time difference. So I'm fascinated to hear your thoughts on what's going on. Look at a few charts, hear about your indicator that I had a look at yesterday. Obviously, it's been a really, really choppy market lately. Quite difficult to trade, unless of course
it isn't.
Flat out hodler.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sure all of you watching know who Didi is, but if you don't, I did my very first video ever on this channel a number of years ago. Didi's famous for going all in. A number of years ago, that worked out all right, didn't it?
That was like already 4 years ago now. Yeah, that time flies by. It was a different time. It was a good game.
Oh, look, it was, and you know, maybe that's actually a sort of good place to start, is to sort of compare what we were seeing back then. Obviously, we've been through that 217 bull run together. Maybe we can sort of compare it to what we're seeing happening now. What are sort of the fundamental differences, and then we'll get into the technicals off the back of that chat. What for you would you say is the real sort of difference between that 217 bull run and what we're experiencing now?
That's a very good question, but I don't know if we see difference really. The difference is now the institutional investors, they are buying up every dip. So we don't see the huge dips we were used to in 2017. But, you know, we also need to realize we are just getting started. Like, I think this is now the beginning of 2017. And so maybe we still need to see the first 40% dip. You know, in 2017, we saw, I think, between 30 and 40% dips after huge runs. You know, at the beginning of 2017, we were at $800. At the end, we were at 20,000 US dollar. And we had a lot of runs and crashes, and a lot of people got scared and lost and traded. But if you just bought Bitcoin in the beginning of 2017, in the end, you would have made a shitload of profit because you just had a hold your Bitcoins. I think we are now, again, just the beginning. You know, 2020 was comparable, I think, to 2016. And I think now 2017 will be comparable to 2021 will be comparable to 2017. I have a beautiful chart on which you can see that it's happening again. So it's also a little bit predicting, I think, in my opinion, what we will see the next couple of months. So it's an amazing chart.
Yeah, we'll have a look at that in a second. I think sort of the major difference for me, Didi, is, you know, if we look back at 217, there we were in you know, a little fantastic little beach bar in Koh Phangan, doing Bitcoin meetups. You know, teaching people about Bitcoin, and in many ways, looking back at that now, what it really was for me was an education in economics. You know, it's amazing how little I sort of understood, and I think in many ways you need to understand the bigger macroeconomic picture to really understand what's going on with Bitcoin, especially now. And for me, the big difference between 217 and now is obviously, you know, Michael Saylor clearly wins the Rookie of the Year award for coming in and the amount of marketing he sort of put behind what he did with what effectively I think is about 1.3 billion now his company have come in with. I think they've probably already made their money back. He doesn't look like pulling out. and the big thing here is what I see. Obviously, you and I have talked to We're Blue in the face to try and get as many people into the space over a 4 or 5 year period. I'm pretty sure we have onboarded a lot of people, but now I think we're really seeing these big institutional plays. The mutual funds, pension funds, insurance companies. So my message to people still right now is that if you're feeling like, this, obviously this isn't financial advice, let's clear that up. But for me,
It is.
I'm telling Pete friends, shut up, Didi. They'll
Give me
the
1
line.
second.
It's short advice, and that's not financial advice.
Just continue. Give me 1 second, please.
Okay. So look, as I was saying, I think the big difference here is that where these big funds that are coming in, there is a sort of up to a 6-month period where they need to go through compliance, get everything in place. Now, talking to a number of people in the space, they are advising those companies, and I know for a fact there's going to be a flood coming in. So for the retail investor watching this, I don't think you have missed the boat. I do think there is that window of opportunity, especially over a 3 to 6 month period where, coming into this market, of course, we're going to see pullbacks, but I think the real exponential rise is yet to happen, in my opinion. It might seem like we've gone parabolic already, but I think there's a lot more to come. Would you share those sentiments, Didi?
Yeah, completely. It's for me, it feels parabolic already. Indeed, you see these green candles going up, but for me, today I just looked at the charts again, and I know I could see the same scenario playing out again. And this chart, where you can see this logarithmic growth, you can see that we are just at the beginning.
Do you want to throw that up?
Yeah, I can throw that up. That's I think we are fighting a very important level at the moment, and I think this level is really important. So if you, I'm now at the BLX, so that's like 1 second. I need to adjust a few things. There's a weekly chart. Every candle is a week, and I think you can see at the moment what is happening is very important. We have the bottom line, of course. This is all Fibonacci calculations. So you have the bottom, you have the top, and you have this midline, Sean. And every time when we reach this midline here, this was in 2013, we were fighting this midline. And the moment we win the battle, then you get this exponential growth. We see the same in 2017. Here, it was like 3 months that we were fighting this midline, and then bam, we went up. And now we are just starting to touch this midline. So this midline is around 36K. This is why we haven't gone to 40K yet. We are fighting this midline. The moment we break this midline, I think we will be a couple of months around this midline. I think just like we saw here, look, you can see it here in 2017, very clear. We were fighting it. You say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks. It's 2 months fighting this line. And when we break it, bam, go up.
Right.
And I can see the same thing playing out. I think we are now here. We're going to fight it, 2, 3 months. And then bam, it will take May, June, July, August. One of these months, I think we will see the explosive growth. And then we will go to the top, which is around 100K, 120K if we go in May. If we go a little bit later, it will be 200K. So if we would follow this growth that we have been following the last couple of years, then I think we are now fighting a very important level. And to make it more clear, maybe, sorry, I had the BAM indicator on, and this is more clear, sorry. This is how you don't have all the flags and all the calls. And if you look even closer into the chart, which I saw also, is like there's this 21 moving average, the yellow line, the 21 EMA. Every time the top of the cycle is a huge distance from this line. It's about like 86%, the top of the cycle, from the yellow line. Here, 82% from the yellow line. 2016 here, 2013, 75% from the yellow line. Here, 2017, 18, 17% from the yellow line. At the moment, we are only 55% from this yellow line. So if we compare this to 2017, we are here. This is 55% from the yellow line.
Wow.
So I do think we can make the same movement, 55% from the yellow line, 55% from the yellow line. We will pull back slowly to the yellow line when the yellow line grows up. So we will pull back here, we will be fighting, we will pull back to this yellow line over here. Then we will fight this midline again over here, 2-3 months, and then bam, we have the exponential growth. This is what I expect from the market. So yes, I think it's going to be a copy of 2017 with a lot of fun, with a lot of bull runs, with a lot of stress and FOMO in the market. Yeah. So this is what I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of two different things, isn't it? I mean, obviously, I want to sort of talk trading with you on the show. We both like to trade. It is great fun.
Yeah.
I'd like to think I'm a little better than I was in 2017. Learned a few lessons the hard way, Didi. But yeah, obviously. We've done a lot of content over the years since then about, obviously hodling is the safest way to play this. But for me personally, I like to have a percentage to play around with. And if you know what you're doing, you can do very well. So we'll have a chat about your BAM indicator as well shortly. I had a look at that yesterday. So I'll get you to go into a bit more detail on that. But maybe first, if we can sort of come back to, some of the macros that we see at play here. And I think, for me, primarily my channel's been sort of fundamental analysis. Obviously, with yourself and Lisa, we've been doing a lot of trading shows. It'd be great to have you back on with her in the near future. I know it's difficult with the time zones. We're all what is it, morning for me, late evening for you now. But yeah, if I look at some of the things Michael Saylor sort of specifically has been talking about recently, and they are quite fascinating, where, for him, he's saying, the real inflation that obviously not the CPI, us going to a supermarket, those sort of costs, they haven't really moved too much. We're not really seeing inflation there, and that's what a government sort of put forwards to you as what the inflation rate is at less than 2%. Realistically, that's absolute rubbish. We've seen all this huge money printing, massive inflation in assets, effectively hyperinflation. So, over the course of 2020, the real inflation is arguably around 20%, which if you're sitting in cash, do the math. It's 5 years, and your cash is 100% lost its buying power. That doesn't really. There'll be a lot of people watching going, "Well, that's absolute rubbish." But from a institutional point of view, where they're having to buy into overinflated asset classes as money has been printed, this is why we've had the likes of a Michael Saylor come in. For him, he's viewed cash as a liability, which is just an utterly bizarre scenario. We're going to negative interest rates.
It should be for everyone, Sean.
Yeah. Look, I think that where I'm going with this is I think these learnings are sort of starting to seep through, to the everyday person and understanding why are these institutions all of a sudden so interested in Bitcoin. I mean, we were very much a fringe sort of sector ago. If you look back to 2017, we all had to hang out together because not many other people wanted to talk to us. They thought we were lunatics. That's changed.
Still think.
Well, I mean, you were sort of head lunatic, weren't you? The guy that went all in.
Yeah, but they still think
kids,
there was a lunatic.
Selling the toys.
But they still think we are lunatics. But I completely agree with you. It's the game is changing, and we can see that Bitcoin is being treated as gold. And if we can learn something from history, that is that the banks and the governments, they took gold in the past to control the world and to connect it with the financial system. Then they disconnected gold. Then we got all the problems now. So they understand, oh shit, the moment we left the gold standard, we created a shitload of problems. How do we get out of these problems? Let's use the new gold. Let's use this digital gold. And I think Michael and all these guys from MicroStrategy and Mass Mutual and Paper, I think they understand. They see the big pictures, what governments are going to do. They are going to create centralized digital currencies backed up by digital gold. And I think Bitcoin is slowly evolving to that digital gold. And that's why these smart people already invest everything they have in Bitcoin at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Every Bitcoin is being bought up every day. It's only 900 Bitcoins that enter the market.
Yeah. Well, it's a supply and demand crisis at the end of the day, isn't it? And is that supply and demand crisis going to
It
get
is.
bigger in the coming months? Absolutely, it is. So where's the price going?
It is.
Up. Yep, it's going to get.
It can only go up. You can see the shift. Yeah, you can see the shift from all the small wallets into big wallets, from the exchanges into the hardware wallets.
Yep.
You can see all the numbers online. We can see that the Bitcoins are leaving the exchanges. We can see that we have less small Bitcoin wallets, more bigger Bitcoin wallets. So we can see that it's the big companies taking over the Bitcoins now. So to all the people out there, just hodl your Bitcoin. Don't
Yeah.
give up. Don't sell. Don't sell.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, I think a good indicator is the amount of the outflow from Coinbase, which that typically is showing institutions buying there, moving it into their own wallets, and that was an all-time high 4 days ago. So is the bull run over?
Yeah.
No. I think it's just getting warmed up. Is the reality, in my opinion. So maybe let's sort of temper our enthusiasm with maybe a bit of a discussion about, where would you potentially sort of see a floor? I mean, talking with Lisa the other day, and she's absolutely been bang on with her predictions. We're seeing this very sort of choppy region at the moment, quite, sort of 10% moves very, very quickly in both directions. We saw that the other day, but they are quite significant moves. It can be very difficult to trade at the moment, given that. But do you see a significant pullback? And where, in your opinion, what floor do you think's been built into Bitcoin? What's the lowest you think we could go?
What is, if we would repeat history, we would see like 30 to 40% pullbacks, which would be from now, if we calculate 36K, 40%, so that would be 16,000, that would be 20K. So then we would see a pullback to 20K without that we should be freaking out at that moment. Then we should zoom out to the chart and see that this also happened in 2017. So if we would see a 40% pullback, we would go back to 20K. I think the biggest level of support is 19,800-ish US dollar. But to be honest, I think the market is a little bit different than 2017. 2017, we need to understand it's like all panicking retailers. Like if Bitcoin dropped 10%, everybody was selling, sell. Oh, we are going to die. Now, biggest amount of Bitcoins is held by these huge companies. They don't sell. They play this game already for years. They just buy. They buy and they buy. So maybe those 40% dips will now be like only 30 or 20% dips. And if it's only 20 to 30% dips, then we would drop to 30K, 27,000 US dollar maximum. So I think that is going to happen. I don't see us going back to 15K. There is too many Bitcoins being bought up. I don't know how they will drop the market. If there is not a lot of Bitcoins on the exchanges, how can you drop the price? It's because...
Yeah, no, very true. Very true. I mean, I think talking to some people the other day who sort of consulted with some of these institutions, the information I got was that the average, some of the bigger players that came in last year, when they averaged out the institutional buys, it came in at around 16K. I think where there's a pretty solid floor in this market at around 20 or 19.5, as you say. Will we hit that again? If we do, I would imagine it would be extremely short-lived, and I'll be selling my kidneys to get some more cash to buy at that point. I don't think anyone will want my kidneys.
But that's
what, something to sell, Didi. Yeah.
Sean, I know you drank too much.
No, I haven't actually. No. It's new. I've turned over a new leaf. I've been in quarantine for the last 10 days, Didi. So I woke up on New Year's Day with no hangover and decided, hey, that'll be a nice way to keep 2021 until I see you. And you still drinking that petrol you drink, the Bacardi, or have you?
Still doing it. Still doing just the cheap Bacardi Coke. The fat making Bacardi Coke. Yeah, I see in the comments a guy saying whales and futures can still the price. People still think this, and
You actually
course.
broke up
Whales
really.
want to multiply their
Really, sorry,
Bitcoin, so they
you
will
broke
be.
up quite. You broke up badly there. Do you want to repeat that?
I saw a comment that people still say like whales and futures can still you make the price. Of course, whales can always play the game in multiplying their Bitcoins, but
Yeah.
if whales feel bullish, they will still stay in the market. They will ride the bull run up to 100K and then start to play this game, I think. But let's see.
Yeah.
It's.
I mean, right now, I mean, some interesting things. The funding rate at the moment is 0.15%. That's 15 times higher than usual. That basically means this market is hugely over leveraged. The majority of it's overwhelmingly long. So if you want to be super negative, if there was a massive sell, it could send a cascade through the market. That's sort of a worst case scenario. But for me, trader games and would be very, very short lived. Is it likely? I don't think so. I think we're going to continue to see these chops. I mean, I'd love to have a look at your Bam Bam indicator. Since we're sort of on that topic, if you can talk us through it, how it works, that'd be great.
Yeah, of course. I need to share the screen again. Sean, the Bam Bam indicator is just a tool. It's a tool to simplify your trading strategy and to get a healthy risk reward ratio.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. It tells you when to buy, it tells you when to sell. So if you look at the Bam Bam indicator, it's built out of 3 components. So we have always a triple confirmation of what the market will do, and that is how it checks the market, it checks the history of the charts, and combines that into combines that one into the Bam Bam indicator. So in first sight, it's really easy. Of course, you see the short flag. Okay, this is short, so you go short. You see a long flag, you go long. You see a short flag, you go short. That's what you might think. But there is a little bit more to it. There's a huge manual to it and some educational videos, because we are not going to take every long and not every short, because there are some rules. Because we have, of course, the margin call over on the top screen, but we also have the Bam Bam indicator down below, and it's pretty simple. So when we see this short flag over there at 34,300. This is a sign, okay, the market is going to turn around. We're going to see a short very soon. At the moment that we see this blue line crossing down on this red line or on the white line, that's a confirmation. At the same time, we can see this red candle closing below this yellow stepping line. And at that moment that it closes below the yellow stepping line, you can see the green hills, the hills where the bulls are running around, changing into the beach. If you see the green changing into the beach, if you see the blue line crossing down on the white or the red line, if you see the red candle closing below the yellow stepping line after you see the short, that's a definitive short. And if you take this short with a trailing stop loss or with a take profit, you would have shorted the market. Maybe you would have been lucky, by stopping out. Maybe you would have stayed in and you would have stepped out of the market here. So that's a 2K short. This is the 4-hour chart. I popped up the 4-hour chart because I didn't have too much time to trade. So I like to trade bigger time frames. So that would mean that if I stayed on the 5th of January, I would start at the long. You see this long flag, and then we go the other way around. Okay, we see the long flag. Are we moving above the yellow stepping line? No. Did the blue line cross the red line? Yes. Oh, that's positive. Oh, now it's crossing the white line. Even more positive. Ooh, this candle is going above the yellow stepping line. More positive. Ooh, and now the beach is turning into the grass again where the bulls will come. Now we go long. This is a confirmation. This is a confirmation. Above the yellow stepping line is a confirmation. We go long. So if you would have gone long on 32,600, you would still be in the long 3K higher. With a leverage of 10, you can calculate how much this is. And if you do this continuously...
God, Didi, are you a 10x trader?
Sorry?
Are you a 10x trader?
Yes. So the secret of the
Really?
Bam Bam, of the Bam Bam indicator is very simple. We trade safe. We only trade with 10% of the Bitcoin price and with a leverage of 10.
What time frame?
And that's how we.
are you trading typically?
You can.
What
I
do
am
you
trading
what
the
do you
4-hour
typically
time
trade?
frame because I don't have.
Sorry, go on.
What I said, I'm trading the 4-hour. I'm trading the 4-hour time frame
Yep.
because I don't have too much time. Most people trade the 15-minute chart, but there you can do the same. This is the 15-minute chart. I can show you the same. It's the same. It's the short over here. Here is the confirmation because we are below the yellow stepping line.
Yep.
We can see the green going into the blue sea, and we take it over there. That's when we take it safe. If you want to take a little bit more risk, you already take it here. But then you have the chance that the market will turn around, like this one. Here, it's a short flag. People that go short early, they go too short too early because we don't go down. Because there's no confirmation, there's too much green, the line is not going downwards, we are not below the stepping line, so we are not taking this short. We are taking this short because here we go below the stepping line, here the green goes to the yellow, here the white line of the blue line goes to the red line. This short we take. So we minimize the risk of trading, and then we minimize the risk of trading even more by only using a leverage of 10, so we don't get stopped out. But if I pop up a chart that for example, Sean, because people always think, but a leverage of 10, that's not a lot.
Not a lot.
I will. You can leverage up to 100, Sean.
I know.
It's but I will show you. Oh, I need to. 1 second. I can show you something. For example, which chart? Do you see this chart now, or do you see still the same chart?
We're still on the Bam Bam indicator.
Okay, then I will pop up this one. 1 second. So this is a result, just to show you how a leverage of 10 can make a lot of profit with the BAM indicator. We trade with 1% of the Bitcoin price, $300, with a leverage of 10. We were trading on Bybit at this point. So if we take the short, we didn't take it there. We took it here when we went below the line. We turned $300 into $584. It was only a 10% drop because you play with a leverage of 10. It's a 100% trade. This turned $500. We didn't take the long here. No, we waited for the confirmations, yellow to go to the green, blue line crossing the white line. There we took the long. 5% times 10 is 50%. 500 turns into 900. And that's how we converted 300 into $1,394 just in the morning from 8 till the evening 8. So a lot of people think, why do you play so safe, Didi? Only 10% leverage.
So are you guys posting your trades? Because I know people can subscribe to this. I've actually put a link in the show notes here if you want to check it out. I'm gonna be having a play with it today. Thank you for getting me set up on that. Who's involved in it with you? If people were to sign up with you for this, is there what's involved? Is there any other support or?
Yeah, of course. We have a Discord server. The moment you sign up using your link that you have down below this video, you get into the Discord server as a family member. We have around 2,000 family members at the moment. In this Discord server, there are some separate VIP channels. And if you buy the Bam Bam indicator, you get access to the VIP channels where all the people are that trade with the Bam Bam indicator and where we discuss the charts. We post charts every day, what we expect of the market. We also post a chart of how we should have traded or how we have traded the market, how people should have traded the market, how people can trade the market. We do these Fibonacci charts where we say, okay, we are now at this level. We think we will move upwards. So we coach the people in those VIP channels.
We have a new all-time high, by the way, Didi.
For all, serious, what are we at?
36. 36.1, I think.
Bam.
Yeah.
Bam. So beautiful. To the moon.
Yeah. Someone's saying Didi attracted it. There we go. My God, it was an all-time
Hey,
high
what?
when I was doing a show yesterday. Sorry, please go back to how this operates, because obviously, as someone famous for going all in on Bitcoin, Didi, you might be you've publicly got it globally publicly got it right. Someone's just asked, where is the link? There's if you go into in the show notes, you can just click more. There's a link there, didibam.com. You just copy
Maybe
and
we
paste
can
that.
paste it in the chat as well.
Yeah, true.
Do I
Yep.
have you?
Yep.
Maybe I have your link. Yeah, I have your link.
Oh, you're going to do that now? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we'll post your link into the chat so they can. Or do you want to keep it to the end?
Oh no!
Are you afraid that they will click
actually,
it?
I've got it here. Working it.
Okay. Yeah, easy. They click your link.
Your
They only need to
internet,
fill
Didi.
two
Bloody
fields.
hell! You're going to spend some of your Bitcoin on a decent internet connection.
It's
for our video.
terrible.
Yeah, it's all right.
I have the most expensive one.
You speed up sometimes. It's like you're talking at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and then you.
Yeah, it's Portugal, man. It's the most expensive internet here, and it's like shit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So
what I was saying.
I jumped in and interrupted you. Can we just come back to how it all works and who's involved? Because you're always saying we. I know you know a lot of other people in the space. What's the team?
So we have a team there. I collaborated with the margin call team, and the margin call team they created the margin call indicator, and they contacted me and they were like, "Didi, wow, what you are doing for the industry is so beautiful, and you can also talk really nice. Would you like to look into how we can work together?"
Yep.
And we work together, and then we just create the Bam Bam indicator, and from that. So I have a backup team that does all the administration stuff as well, but also does all the analysis and helps. So we are building the team. We have some moderators. We have the team is getting bigger and bigger, and we are launching more and more projects. So the Bam Bam indicator is just the first product we launched, and we are upgrading the Bam Bam indicator like every month. There is a new feature being released. Yep. People can now, since last month, people can backtrack. So you can even use the indicator to backtrack what kind of results you would have had if you would have played with $200. Now, the end of this week, we are going to launch the BFET. And the BFET is the Bitcoin Family Automated Trader. So that one is going to trade automatically for you guys. So it's going to take the longs on Bitcoin and multiply your Bitcoins every time again. So that's why I speak about we, because I think we as a huge Bitcoin family work together, and in the Discord server you will understand what I say by we, because everybody in the family is helping each other, and I incentivize people to help each other. So if some experienced traders help newcomers into the channel, I give them family tokens. So we incentivize people to help each other. So we are creating a family, because I think that is where it went wrong with Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies. They weren't a family anymore. We were all individuals that want to become rich. And I want to be one big family, that will use the profit to change the world. And that's why we still do the donations to charity, because the profits we will be making with the Bam Bam, with the BFET, all that stuff, all those profits, we are starting a fund this year. And this fund is going to give microloans to poor people over the world. I'm not in it to become a millionaire. I'm in it to help people all over the world.
Yeah, mate. I've known you for a number of years now. I know how much you give away to charities. Here we are. Sort of might come across that we're shilling a trading product, but I can vouch for what an absolutely fantastic bloke you are, and it's rare to see someone giving back as much as you do. That's really fantastic. Applaud you for that. Especially in this very difficult world. I see everyone's they're saying it's your trading bots that are slowing down your internet connection, but it looks like riots are kicking off in the US today. I think President Trump has basically said he's not leaving.
Serious?
Which Yeah, I think that happened about an hour or two ago, which fairly big news. I think there's a lot of people attacking, storming the White House at the moment, from what I'm hearing. So yeah, interesting times. In some ways, maybe it's a good sort of segue into, for me, when people are asking me, and this is obviously happening a hell of a lot, what is Bitcoin? I go with, it's obviously many, many things, but I go with three main attributes. The fact that it's unconfiscatable, it's the first time in human history there's an asset that you really do control. All you need to do is remember a password in your head, and that's yours. You can walk through an airport with your net worth and in your head. This is unique. It's a massive feature of Bitcoin for me. Then you've got the uncensorable nature of Bitcoin, which effectively you can spend Bitcoin on whatever you want. Nobody can tell you what you're doing with your own money effectively. Now, obviously procuring Bitcoin without not from an exchange, but getting it from peer to peer is the ideal scenario. I think everyone should look into that when you're acquiring Bitcoin. But in the main here, it's this third attribute. It's that predictable supply and finite amount. There's 21 million Bitcoins. That's why we're realistically, this is why we are seeing this huge upward movement at the moment, as the institutions have understood that narrative. They have accepted it as digital gold. But where I'm going with this, Didi, is I've sort of been saying for years that I really like the fact that for the first time we're separating money from the state. Bitcoin does that. It's not a fiat currency. It's not political money. Here we are today. We've got Donald Trump turning around saying, "I'm not leaving office." This could really cause major problems in the US. We've got people at the White House right now rioting by the sound of it. To what degree is Bitcoin separate from the state? And clearly we're going to see regulation this year. Do you have any concerns around that? Would be my question.
No.
No.
Not at all. I think we just saw a very beautiful example of a very centralized currency called Ripple, XRP, which showed us that if you are a centralized currency, they can stop you. They can sue you, and they can, just destroy you if they want. If they want to stop Bitcoin, only one question people need to answer me. Which door are they going to knock to stop Bitcoin?
Probably yours.
Yeah, but that's the only question. To stop XRP, you just knock the door on Ripple. You make people afraid. You need to pay a fine, and they will stop. You cannot stop Bitcoin. As you just said it, it's unstoppable. So I don't think that regulations will ever be able to stop Bitcoin. I think governments understood that, and that is why they embrace Bitcoin at the moment. That is, I can say it now one more time. I think in 5 years' time, wars will be fought on Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining. The way the United States was used to invade Iraq and Iran for their oil, they are going to invade Iran the next time to seize their power plants that are mining Bitcoins. Because Iran at the moment is mining Bitcoins already for a year. They made it legal for every Iranian citizen to use Bitcoin for import and export. And by this, they just say, fuck you to the United States. We don't care that you have US that you have these US rules. We don't want your filthy dollar anymore. You cannot regulate Iran anymore. We mine Bitcoins and we use Bitcoins for import and export. And the moment countries are going to do this, Iran, Turkey, Venezuela, there will be a war between the centralized governments that still need to get money from those countries. They will invade those countries, not for oil. They will invade those countries to seize those power plants, to seize the Bitcoins they mined, to get their cash back. This is what is happening. This is, if you zoom out in the bigger picture, then I think Bitcoin is getting a way bigger role than people even see at the moment.
That's the uncensorable nature or attribute of Bitcoin you're talking about there.
Yeah, because the US has all these sanctions on. they
Yeah.
give sanctions to countries like Iran or Venezuela or Turkey to use dollars.
Mm,
The only way to avoid these sanctions for these countries at the moment is Bitcoin.
mm.
So this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year. I don't doubt for a second that we will see, obviously Steve Mnuchin, who's been no fan of, he's the Secretary of the Treasury, for those of you that don't know, in the US, tried to, it's actually happening this week, I believe. He's proposed a bill that would mean that any movement of Bitcoin or crypto from a US money mover, wallet, Coinbase, etc., anything over 3,000 US dollars would have to have the KYC done on where it was being sent to, which would pose a huge amount of problems for a lot of innovation happening in the space, specifically, things like staking, in the DeFi space, where there isn't actually that end wallet address and the way just things are structured. So it could cause problems. I don't know whether that's going to go through. I think that's something to keep an eye on. But really where I'm going with this, we also saw 2 days ago that they basically gave real clarity around the fact that banks credit.
The OCC issued a letter that the
Yeah,
banks now
correct.
could.
I mean, to me, that was a very, very positive move.
Yeah, but that, to me, that is also showing how stupid they are over there. On the one hand, they are starting to regulate everything and to keep people from buying Bitcoin. And on the other hand, the banks now can run full nodes to replace the whole SWIFT system that banks are used to.
Yeah.
Every bank is going to run a full node and use stable currencies instead of SWIFT. So it's so contradictory in the US. And I still feel, Sean, that they think that if they make rules to the United States, that the whole world is going to conform to their rules. This is past. The power is gone. They don't have this power anymore. They can make the rules for their own country, but the people in Europe are not going to do this. Portugal is just going to embrace Bitcoin. The Netherlands is going to embrace Bitcoin. They don't care about those rules anymore that the United States is making. I think we will see a huge shift in 2021. I think still 2021 will be a big change in life. And Sean, you know the best, and I know it as well. The dollar is already 120 years the world currency.
Yep.
We know we had the Dutch guilder, we had the pound. There is going to be a new world currency. It's changing every 100 to 120 years. We are exactly at that point. It's going to change. It's a revolution.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's a funny one, isn't it? Because we've endured a long grind of a bear market, and things have really exploded into life. It's very easy to think, okay, well, this is just about a price, and it is for most people. But there's so much more to this. These issues that we're talking about here. I think the entire planet is really in turmoil on this one. We've also had Trump turn around today and ban Alipay and WeChat. So these are effectively the payment rails. So we've had a situation where China's currency, the renminbi, it's not something you can take out of the country and sell. So it's quite limited in its ability to become a global force in that respect. But where China is way ahead of everyone else is their use of fintech and these payment rails that effectively are bringing capital and making it very easy to trade with China. So, sort of a bit of a crazy one here. You've got Trump and Mnuchin really sort of swinging a hammer on the way out. How the story plays out with him saying he's not actually going to leave. I mean, good God, let's see what happens in the next few days. But I guess where I'm going with this is, I think for even larger players, looking at something like Bitcoin with all this global uncertainty, it's effectively a currency war between these major blocks. It just makes the case for Bitcoin even stronger. There are so many use cases for Bitcoin. 2 years ago, if you had asked me, I said maybe the major use cases, if you're somebody with a bit of wealth in an emerging economy and you're worried about your currency darting all over the place, Bitcoin's for you. Here we are, a couple of years after me sort of talking that narrative, we're all kind of in that position. So Bitcoin isn't maybe I said the other day, it's very much digital gold for high net worth individuals now. No, I mean, there's a use case for everybody for this asset class. I just wish I hadn't used so much of it in that bar in Copenhagen buying beers, Didi. They figured out some of those beers cost me about $500 now.
Yeah.
This
It's
round's
the
on
same
me.
problem over here.
No.
I didn't have any other option, Sean. So for me, it was also, but I don't look back. It's for me, it's okay. We live on Bitcoins and we earn Bitcoins. So there's always Bitcoins coming in and Bitcoins flowing out. Oh, did you see, by the way, today, Shapeshift, Eric Voorhees?
Yeah.
He's leading by example. He's dropping KYC.
Yeah.
That is like huge.
Yeah.
That's one of the players that I really respect now, that he is going to drop KYC. He's going to say,
I think Eric Voorhees is absolutely fantastic. I think he's been a massive champion of Bitcoin, but he's unlike a lot of the maximalist rhetoric that just completely I was on Tone Vazen's show the other day with all the hardcore Bitcoin maximalists, and I was one of those for a long time, but I do think there's so many other innovations happening in this space. Yes, we're both very much Bitcoiners, but we're not completely discrediting everything else happening in the space. I think that's crazy. And Eric Voorhees very much falls in that camp, doesn't he?
Yeah, I really like it. I tweeted directly. I said, I'm going to test it now. So I took the Shapeshift app, I'm testing it, and it was still a KYC button. So I tweeted back, yeah, it's still KYC. He tweeted completely back, no, but you need to check this and this. So I tested it, and it is. You can even, it's no KYC at the moment. So he's decentralizing his project, and that is what I like. And I think when he does that, I hope other leaders in this market will do the same and will decentralize their tools into, the Bitcoin mindset.
Yeah.
And I think, I think 2021 is going to be a beautiful year, Sean.
Oh, look, I think the next couple of years are going to be absolutely fascinating. He's on record pretty recently as saying that, we've probably got a fairly smooth ride for a while. We're talking about an asset class that's nudging $1 trillion now. It's still tiny when you think about it in those terms. He stated that he saw, there will be a fight from higher powers as this grows and starts absolutely consuming everything else, when it really starts to threaten the status quo. I don't think a lot of the high and mighty quite realize how big this is going to get and how fast it could happen. So there will be pushback along the way. I don't think it's going to be a smooth ride by any stretch of the imagination. You only look back to Roosevelt in the early 30s, basically saying anyone with gold's got to hand it over, and if you don't, you go to prison. When things get tough, people get nasty. So let's see over the next couple of years. But the more Bitcoin you got, the better. We've both been saying that for a long time, and I think that's even more so now, isn't it?
I believe that we are going to see exactly the same we saw in 2013, 14, those years that Cyprus and Greece had huge problems and their bank seized their money. And, we are going to see the same. We are going to see a crisis, because nobody can tell me that after 1 or 2 years locking down all businesses all over the world, that can be positive for the economy. You can tell me many things, but I can calculate. And if you lock down all companies 2 years long, all the hotels, all tourism, all restaurants, nobody can tell me that this is positive for the economy. This will lead into a huge crisis.
Yeah.
And I think people need to understand that you need to protect your capital. You don't want the government to freeze your money on the bank account, because they need it to save the country from a crisis, while they could as well print a shitload of money. But they only printed the money to save the big companies again, not the normal people. The normal people were laid off at $2,000. That's all. So people need to start protecting their capital.
Yeah.
That's all.
Didi, 36,130. It's just breaking all-time highs every
minute. Wait. I'm going to 1 second, because let's talk longer. Because if we talk longer, Sean, maybe we're going to
keeps going up. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe no. You know what it is. It is for me. I really believe the chart what I showed you that we are going to see this happening.
Yeah.
And I really think, let's set it one more time on the week, that this is going to play out the way I showed. And then this level, what we are fighting now, is the most important level. It's just very clear.
Yeah, you were saying 36K, weren't you? If we break that.
Can I share my screen again? Is this sharing now? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see here, this line, we are fighting it. Yeah, exactly this line. This is the midline of this parabolic growth curve here. This line we are fighting.
Right.
And we have been fighting that line every time before the explosive bull run. Here, I will zoom in. This is 2017, just to show you. This is 2017. This is the moment where we are now. We are fighting this line. And we kept fighting. These are weekly candles. We kept fighting it 1, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, we came through. No, not 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6. We went down, almost 2 months. And after 2 months, even with a dip to the yellow line, we broke it. And that moment we broke that line, we saw, bam, we went from 4,800 to 20K times 5. From that moment, we broke the line.
Wow.
So if we would repeat that same fractal again, then I expect that we will be fighting this line for 1 week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, maybe cross it, maybe come down to the yellow line because this one is going up, of course. So we will touch the level we thought you said. So if the yellow line would continue, if this line would continue up like this, and this keeps fighting over here, then we drop back to the yellow line over there, 25, 26. Then we go up again here. Then we are already in March, May, April. And when we break it then, that is the moment, I think, if we break it in April or May from here, from that moment, then I think we will, bam, see the run. And then you get to July to September, and you will see 100K. Because
I'm certainly 100K is my call. A lot of these other traders out there have got some. Well, I mean, God, you're hearing 200 to 400K from a lot of pundits. Some insane numbers. Yeah. So tell me, what's that exact price there on that? You're saying 36. What? What is it now? That line?
The price that we are fighting here is exactly at this point. Let's see, 30. It's very exactly $35,500 around that level we are fighting now.
Okay, and any sort of indication on how long we would need to stay above that for you to sort of consider it broken before we see because we've obviously just broken it.
Yeah, but I don't think we will. It's like this is a weekly candle, so you don't see the right number.
Yeah. So it needs to close above that.
Exactly. So I think it needs to close above that, and the weekly candle. This weekly candle is going to close Sunday. I don't think they will close Sunday. What I said, I think we are going to see the same thing again that happened in 2017 over here. So it was the first week. This candle touched it. That's the first week. Another week, touch it. Second week, third week, touch it. Fourth week went over, but closed just above it. And then the fifth week again below it. So it was like 4 or 5 weeks, and then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 weeks. From the first time we touched that line, it took another 10 weeks. That's like 2.5 months before we broke it. So probably, in my opinion, we're the same. We're going to, this is the first week we touched it. This is the second week. Then we take 10 weeks, touching it and coming down a little bit and touching it. So we will be slowly climbing to 40K. 40K will be around here. This is one scenario, Sean, But again, we are not financial advisors. Bitcoin is crazy. We did the same here. Huh? We went there, we tried it again, and bam, we went down to the bottom of this line. Maybe we're going to repeat this move, touch it, and bam, we come down to the bottom. And that bottom is the 19K. That is the level, the second level we were thinking that it could drop to. Either way, I think the strategy is accumulate Bitcoin and hodl them. And on the other hand, you trade using, for example, the BAM indicator, and you just trade those swing moves, those small moves to accumulate more Bitcoins.
Mm.
So you have like 70% long term, which you hodl, and 30% you use to multiply your bitcoins.
Yeah,
Because I
exactly.
really think that we are at this point. This point, I think we are here, 55% above the yellow line, and then we get a correction to the yellow line.
Yeah,
And the correction took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. So if
right.
we are now here 50% above, and it will take 6 weeks till there to come to this 30K level again. So
So you think you think
I
we could
hope,
be quite choppy for the next 5 or 6 weeks before we break that mid
yeah,
target there, and then we're going. Yep, I wouldn't disagree with
in
that.
my opinion, yes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm not the best trader, you
As
know.
you said, Bitcoin. Yeah, we'll have to get you back on a show with Lisa. She's been pretty good with her Bitcoin calls. That's
Yeah,
certainly a very interesting chart you've got there. I wouldn't disagree with that analysis. I'm looking forward to
I love Lisa.
looking at your band. Sorry.
I love Lisa. She's an amazing trader, and she was really spot on a lot of Bitcoin price movements the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Also Ethereum, she was spot on. She was really good. Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Let's do another show to Monday. I will join you on Monday if
I can't
time
do
wise.
this Monday, unfortunately. I'm trying to sort of reschedule it with her. I get out of quarantine on Monday, Didi. I haven't seen my family for a number of years, so that's what my Monday is this week. So we'll figure out a time with the three of us, either for later in the
Perfect.
week. Yeah. So yes, the family's all good. You're going. I know you guys don't like winter, but you're heading into well, you're already in one, aren't you? How's Portugal
Yeah,
at this
we
time
are
of
in the
year?
winter. It's I'm sitting outside now. It's now 9:30. It's chilly. It's like a little bit cold.
Mm,
During the day, it's still reasonable warm, but for me, yeah, you know me, it's a little bit too cold for me.
yeah.
So we are looking into what to do in February. We got invited by a Bitcoiner into a ski resort in Italy on 2,000 meters. He owns a ski resort. He's like, Didi, I love what you did. Come with your
Yep.
family to me, and you can stay here for a few weeks, and you can go skiing, and we offer you the resort. So that is one of the options. The other option is we just continue the tour. We just stay in Portugal, explore Portugal a little bit more. Then we need to dress up a little bit, or maybe we fly to Mexico or to another warm destination for a couple of weeks just to get up, warmed up a little bit.
Mexico.
I don't know. Mexico doesn't have rules. You don't need to do tests and all that stuff. I don't need to wear a face mask. I don't like all that shit. So I
No.
only choose countries where I feel free.
Yeah, I've left Asia after many years. New Zealand, there's no masks. Our stadiums are 50,000 people at a sporting event, music concert. It's going to be weird. I mean, I got just with such a restrictive
Beautiful.
lifestyle for so long. God, I'm looking forward to that.
Can we get into New Zealand?
No,
You can because you're a Kiwi.
I can get in because I'm a Kiwi, but there's probably some Kiwis watching this that have had their hearts broken recently. There's 6,000 quarantine beds, and I believe if you're probably not getting back in here till sort of March, April is what I'm hearing now. Yeah. So there's just, I mean, the New Zealand government's actually been pretty good on that front, as opposed to a lot of other countries. It's been free for me to come and use this as a returning New Zealander, which is great. And yes, it's military run, but it is actually a really beautiful hotel, and they feed you well. So well done, New Zealand, on that front. I've been quite critical of some of the privacy laws and whatever that have been eroded in this country, but they've looked after me so far. But yeah, it's heartbreaking for a lot of these other Kiwis who do want to get back. Many of them sort of quit their jobs and gave up their apartments in the UK, and then found they weren't allowed to travel, so they're stuck there. There's a lot of people in limbo at the moment.
That's terrible. That's terrible.
Yeah, it's been a tough year for pretty much everyone, I think. Thank God we've had crypto to be immersed in, and keep trying to educate people on why we think this is an important asset class. Look, it's great to see your money double, triple, quadruple, possibly a lot more, but there's a lot more to what Bitcoin is, and definitely get over and and subscribe to Didi's YouTube channel. He makes daily content, which is always informative. You've never just been about a price, Didi. I think it's only recently that both of us have sort of really started talking the numbers.
Yeah.
But it's the
it's the
reality
same,
that's what most people are interested in. But I think as you sort of understand, it will be obviously number go up that sort of pulls a lot of people into the space. But then when you really understand what's actually at play here, that bigger picture, it's fascinating. It's addictive.
But the problem is, Sean, and that we both realized that we were always fighting to talk about prices. But, if you want to catch the newcomers into this market, you need to talk about prices. And then for me, it's important that I catch those newcomers and I treat them well. I don't scam them. We catch them, but we also inform them about the true fundamentals in Bitcoins.
Yep.
And I prefer this than they will be caught by all those, shilling pumping channels that they fall for, and then they lose money. So yes, then I need to talk about the price. I will lure them into the Bitcoin family YouTube channel and into the Bitcoin family, and then try to educate them at that point. So I think we are both doing a great job, and we just need to continue this and keep fighting the good fight.
Yeah. So for anyone that's sort of joined recently, just to reiterate, there's a link below if you want to check out Didi's indicator. I didn't actually put a link to your YouTube channel, but it's the Bitcoin family. I'll add that after we finish streaming.
Yeah, it's okay.
Make sure you subscribe over there, people. There's a lot of charlatans running around in this space, and I think as the number keeps going up, we'll see what we saw in 2017. There'll be another 50,000 Bitcoin YouTubers pop up, no doubt. Be very careful who you're listening to. Do your homework. Look at people's backgrounds, what they've been doing in the space for an extended period before you decide who to follow and who to maybe take some advice from. Not that we give financial advice, Didi.
No, we never do. I'm just a weirdo with a hodl cap in Portugal talking about Bitcoins.
Yeah, I'm walking out of quarantine wearing this bad boy.
Yeah. Is that how you go to your family?
Absolutely.
Oh, Sean, I still have the same in my suitcase. We wore them. Do you remember that we got them in Bulgaria and we went into the club, the discotheque, with all wearing the same necklace? And we went in as the Bitcoin boys. I can see that was still everything open. We were partying in Bulgaria in a club with these chains.
Oh man, that seems like a world away, doesn't it? When we look back to that, it was the end of 2019, and how the world's a different place. I mean, on that note, actually, we should probably give a shout out to Nico from Blockchain Valley. He sent me a message yesterday. He's making an avatar of me for the virtual version of Blockchain Valley. Do you want to maybe quickly explain to people what's happening with that?
Yeah, very shortly, Blockchain Valley started to want to build a huge Blockchain Valley, like physical, 2 million square meters ground in Bulgaria. And because of COVID, because of the lockdowns, everything was stopped, was difficult. And in Bulgaria in the winter, there is 2 meters of snow. We went there in the snow. I threw the snowball at you.
I think I got hit in the head with the biggest ever snowball thrown.
So so it's difficult in Bulgaria. The winter was there, the lockdowns were there. So now Nico decided, okay, let's first start the virtual version of Blockchain Valley, and where we can walk around as avatars, get to know each other, and celebrate parties, events. And this is really taking off. My avatar is already ready, I think. Veza's avatar, you are getting an avatar. He has an avatar. The first artist signed a contract that she's going to perform. Beautiful avatar. She is going to perform in this virtual world.
Oh boy, we'll get back to this in a second, Didi. But this is a pretty epic moment in the history of Bitcoin and crypto. Just happened.
Why?
We have a $1 trillion market cap for the first time.
Bam! Congratulations, everybody! 1 trillion. Let's go to 2 trillion.
Man. That's a big moment.
That's huge. Pac-Man is eating up all these companies. We are now surpassing Tesla very soon.
Wow. I mean, part of the reason that is such a significant moment is the way that a lot of institutions work when various asset classes reach a certain market cap, they are obliged to take positions. And there's a lot of compliance and regulation around how they operate, pension funds, insurance companies, etc. So when that is a massive milestone, it will change the
Is it
narrative.
1 trillion?
Yeah, it popped over.
In my place,
It's gone up over it and under it a few times. It's chopping.
serious. That's so cool.
So basically, that gets a discussion happening in a lot of boardrooms around the world that they now must look at this, and as it goes through the gears up to 2 trillion, you'll then have the discussion. Okay, we've got 1% of our treasury in Bitcoin. We need to bump this up now. So it's actually, in many ways, we're getting these all-time highs on the regular now, but that all-time high is of huge significance, massive.
This is really massive.
Yeah.
But now I think at 9, I can see 980, but
it went over it.
We probably went over, then we got down again.
Yeah, it's chopping up and down.
Shit. That during our live show, Sean.
There you go.
That's like really cool.
It is. But
that
historic
that
moment.
brings me to this. That brings me to this screen. I love.
I thought you were going to say it brings you to tears.
No. Also, I need to cry now. Oh my god! But it also brings me to this screen. I love this one. Bitcoin Pac-Man first eating up this BHHS. I think that is the Warren Buffett's company. This one, we are I think we now ate Alibaba, because Alibaba only has a 600 billion market cap. I think Bitcoin at the moment is at 672. So Tesla is next. Oh no, Tesla only has 607. We already ate Tesla. We are eating Tencent, and we are also eating Facebook at the moment. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Bitcoin is at 6. No, sorry, I'm lying. Bitcoin is at 672. So we just ate Tesla and Tencent, and Facebook will be next, because Facebook is 760 billion and we are at 670 billion with Bitcoin now. And like I see on CoinMarketCap. So, we're working our way up to eat up Apple, because Pac-Man is hungry for an apple. I love it.
Quite incredible. Incredible.
Cool.
Part of the problem here is if you look at some of those big companies on there, Didi, this is why we're seeing, the likes of a MicroStrategy move in, because it's just such an unfair playing field, and something we maybe didn't touch on, that, the disparity between the haves and have-nots is just gone completely. It's insane. If you're already in the capital class, your net worth is just going up, because we've had this hyperinflation, and assets, especially expensive assets. So high-end property has doubled. The likes of an Apple or these bigger players can effectively are getting interest with the printing of money at 0%. So there's no way that if you're a small or a medium-sized business that you've had that ability to compete against those big companies. And who the hell wants a world where there's 2 freaking companies that are providing absolutely every for us? That's a real ugly scenario. So, this money printing is causing so many problems, and people, the smarter institutions are moving their treasury funds into it. I think we're going to see a cascading effect there. So anyone watching this, go out and do a bit more research into that. We'll try and educate you on this channel and on Didi's about what the real inflation is at the moment, why these institutions are making these plays, and why you should understand how your fiat currency is going to get devalued. There's many reasons why you want to have a position in Bitcoin long term. We've been talking about trading on this show, and it's something that I've been saying to friends and family recently is you've got to, they're coming to me and they're asking me about ABC, shitcoin, and so forth. It's gone up X percentage. They're not traders. I'm telling them to learn that slowly. But my position is you've got to get to that level where I think you've banked enough Bitcoin, and possibly Ethereum as well. I'd put in that space now, and you see that as your retirement fund. You see that as your bank. It's locked away, and then once you've got that right amount there, then take that fund money Go to the crypto casino, buy some shit coins, trade whatever you want, but don't trade your whole stack. Make sure you've got that put away, because it is going to keep going up in value. You got to be doing this. You got to be doing this with a percentage. You got to be hodling a percent. Look at me. Who's gonna? This isn't financial advice. Who's going to take financial advice from this guy?
No, nobody.
Sell all your Bitcoin. Sell it now. It's got a zero.
In Portugal, you still pay with shells.
Yeah, get out of the crypto market, people.
Still pay everything. Yeah. Cool, man.
Excellent, Didi. It's been awesome talking with you, and I'd love to get you back on with Lisa for some charting, maybe the following Monday. Anything else before we go, sir?
No. I just want to thank you for one, being my friend in the last couple of crypto years. You have been a very good friend to me. For all the things that we did together, I really appreciate that, and I wish you just an amazing 2021, which is completely different than 2020, because I know 2020 was a terrible year for you, Sean. That was like fucked up, like lock up in Singapore. I hope 2021 is an amazing year. I hope you see your family this Monday and enjoy all the time with them. And I respect what you do in this industry, and thanks for having me again on your HardForking channel. And hopefully we can pick it up some more times for this year again, and talk some more crazy things about green dildos and all that stuff with Lisa.
We managed to go nearly an hour and a half without any filthy chat at all, Didi.
Yeah. It's all because of her. We don't talk
business or serious in 2021. But yeah, it is. On that note, it's been a pleasure. I think the very first video I ever did with you was way back in 2017 on the beach in Copenhagen, sort of learning about why you decided to sell absolutely all your possessions, travel the world with your family, and go 100% into crypto. It's I think the best story in all of the space. I think you're an amazing character. Anyone watching this that isn't familiar with Didi, please get across and follow his channel. If you're a trader, the link to that Bam Bam indicator, check it out, see if it's for you. I'm certainly going to be using it. And 2021 is going to be tough on many fronts, but make it less tough by making some good decisions around Bitcoin. Not financial advice. Do your own homework, but that's what we've been doing. We've been doing it for a long time. And I really think it's only going in one direction, people. Thank you very much all for
beautiful moment.
What's that?
Thank you. It was a beautiful moment.
How cool that I was on live stream with you, Didi. We got $1 trillion.
Bam.
Bam. Absolutely bam.
Thanks.
Excellent. Well, listen, thank you very much for joining again, Didi. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you, man. And everyone watching, thank you so much